Hey everyone, so today I have a Warden customization video for you guys, but before we get into that I wanted to show you this new glitched Warden that not a lot of people know exists. So I'll show you that. Here he is. As you can see, he looks almost identical to the other Warden that's in the game, and Ubisoft said this is part of their plan. So it's kind of a way to keep the game really balanced. He has a small caliber rifle, which is kind of keep the game really balanced and interesting. Apparently each round is approximately does 600 damage, so it's about the same as 3 breakdancing Asmolady attacks, which is really fair, and I think it's going to really help balance the game. He's still not quite as strong as Raider because, you know, it takes a few shots to kill somebody. Raider can just melt your health bar. But yeah, it's just really interesting that he's in the game now, and I think he'll be a great addition to the cast. You know, having a gun against swords is definitely fair and balanced. Alright, so all jokes aside, I'm going to show you a few of my top Wardens and how I customize them. This one right here is my Rep 50 Warden. As you can see, he's an absolute unit. This is probably one of my favorite Wardens I've ever made. I just love the design that you get at Rep 50, and I just love the black and gold. It looks really good. So the helmet I use on is the Vengeful Inquisitor helm. I've actually had quite a few people ask me how to get this helm. I think it was released during an event. If somebody could help me out in the comments, I think it was the Blackbriar event. I'm not 100% certain, but it's like hard to get now. So then the chest I'm using, the Intrepid Wildcat chest. It looks really good with the black and gold because it has the gold lion accents. Looks really nice. Then the Vengeful Instigator arms, which are these shoulder guards. They have spikes and they have nice gold trim on them that really matches the chest and the head as well. I think it looks really good. For the sword, I'm using this Lady of Serenity blade. I kind of like it. It's simple but elegant at the same time. Colors really offset it nice. So there was a sword that I used to use for the longest time, which was similar to this setup, is essentially the Gilgamesh blade with this setup. I think it's still one of the best looking swords in the game. I personally, the Gilgamesh handle is fantastic. I really like it, but when we look at the Gilgamesh guard, it looks garbo, it looks trash. I'm sorry. It just does not look good. Whereas the Trigon guard kind of simple, is nice, and it really folds in nicely with the rest of how it looks. The black and the gold look really good. So moving on, so on the standards, I have the Blackbriar's Curse. Now this was these were available during the Blackbriar event. I have them on the front and back. They're simple, but they look really nice. Symbol, I have Trigonometry 2, which you get at Rep 50. I just love the way these look. There's 3 of them, but that one's my favorite. Now for the, I really like this embossing that you get at Rep 18. Looks really good. Shoulders, I have Triangulation 1. Throws a little bit of color in there. Yeah, that's my Rep 50 Warden. Moving on, this is my classic Warden. I have had this Warden, or some variation of him, since I started playing, and I could unlock the box helmet look, because I just love the box helmet knight. It just looks really good. Using the Fendril chest, which is a classic. I've never changed this look, really. This sword I've had for a long time. It's the Elegant Jade Blade. It just is, any kind of thrusting execution looks amazing with this blade because it's so pointed. Looks really good. And then this color scheme, the black on the gold, and then the sword blade color looks really good too. I just like everything about this sword, and I've kept it since I made it. It just looks really good, in my opinion. We got some different colors. Alright, and then for the ornament, I'm using the half eagle head, which you get from the tournament, which I personally think is one of the best. Another one that I like to use is the fleur-de-lis here. It's just very simple, but it really matches the box helmet look. But yeah, the eagle's head is definitely my favorite. Definitely worth grinding through ranked and tournaments, let me tell you. Alright, and for the patterns, I'm using Noble Blade, kind of on everything on this Warden. It's kind of an intricate design, and it looks really good, especially with these colors. For the standards, I'm using Vine's Chevron, excuse me. And with that eagle, it kind of blends in with all the vines. It looks really good. And like I said, I use Noble Blade on pretty much everything. This yellow color, this is my neutral colors. I personally love this, and this is my goal to get to rep 60, because that with sulfuric sparks would look incredible. It would just look great. Alright, and here is one some people might be interested in. This is my Lannister Warden from the Game of Thrones video. I'm still using the Vengeful Instigator helm. Intrepid Wildcat chest, and the color and the material is all gold. It just looks really nice. And then for this sword, you might all recognize this from Game of Thrones. This is as close as to Oathkeeper as you can get it. Honestly, it's really close. So in the show, it's a Valyrian steel blade with a gilded steel handle, so it's all gold. The hilt is kind of similar. It's about as close as we're gonna get in the game. It's got a wolf's head instead of a lion's head on the pommel. Now for the guard is very similar. It's almost exact to the one in the show. And then for the sword blade, it's that Damascus Valyrian steel look. So going over to the patterns, on any of the newer chests, if you use the vertical lines, it is completely you can kind of keep a complete solid color, whether you're offense, defense, or neutral. And then as you saw there, kind of the shoulder pauldrons, I have the lions on them to make it even more Lannister. This one here was kind of a newer make. I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the open-faced helmet. This one's kind of an exception. So this one's decent, especially if you throw some engraving on there. It looks pretty good. There's another one that looks pretty decent too. I'll show you this one. It's this one. So it's got the gold accents with no matter what material you pick. So from behind, it actually looks pretty good. We're just kind of going through the armor set. Eructus arms, kind of similar to the Lannister Warden that I was using. So this blade, I noticed that kind of two pieces of Oathkeeper look really good with a lot of different hilts. And with this hilt here, I think it looks really good with the Mother of Pearl grip. The Merodach hilt just looks really damn good with this, in my opinion. Overall, it's a great looking sword, no matter what hilt you use. For the ornament, I got the Pegasus Rider on there, which I personally don't like on many Wardens. It's just way too much. But on this helmet, it doesn't look half bad. Honestly, with the all-white, it looks decent. For the embossing on there, I have the Sword Angel, which I think looks pretty dang good. And like I said, those skewed vertical lines help keep it all a solid color with those newer chests. If you want just a more clean, simple look, it's a handy little trick, because when with the newer chests, it magnifies everything, so it's not, sometimes you get different patterns on the newer chests than compared to the older ones because it's more magnified. But yeah, so those are a few of my top Wardens, and then for some effects, this one's one of my personal favorites, the Werewolf in combination with Crimson Conquest. And kind of what I use on everything else on my Warden is the Flying Lease. Those fire wings is just one of the best looking effects in the game, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed.